from my experience, your network is the only thing that is left after you lose everything.
Just a few weeks ago, Russia invaded Ukraine, and it has been a full-out war. I was really honored to have the opportunity to talk to Anastasia. She's one of the people who escaped, and I'm really happy to share about the work that she's doing to support displaced women and children. There is information in this video about how you can help, how you can be involved. There are links in the description. Let's jump right into this. So as we're recording this the 15th of March, I'm going to do my best to have it up tomorrow, 16th of March. And just earlier this month, just the 2nd, it was your birthday. And I'd just love to hear your events of the day.
Yeah, well, yeah, and on it's funny because a month ago, my husband and I were sitting down in Kyiv and trying to make our plans for where I would celebrate my birthday, and we were like thinking Paris or Rome or the usual the usual cities you go to for celebrations. And yeah, but on my birthday, I was on my way from Ukraine to Hungary in a car, and then from Hungary to Italy. So yeah, that was on March 2nd. Yeah, we didn't have we didn't have any celebration, of course. And it's funny how a birthday seems to be an important day, right? But in those kind of circumstances, you just dump it, and you're okay with dumping it. And people did their best of writing me messages, happy birthday and all of that. But I almost felt like it was so irrelevant. Even though I understand people are trying to make me feel as if this is, a normal life and life is still going on. I do understand them. They had the best intentions. But to me, it was like, yeah. So, and then especially Katie, when your phone reminds you your earlier birthdays, and one was in Paris, another one was in somewhere else, and you're like, gosh.
So was it escaping? Like what time of the day was it? Like how did it happen that you were just throwing things into a suitcase and just running?
Yeah, so it was a long run. Okay, I ran from Kiev to the city called Lutsk, and then it's western part of Ukraine, and then from there to where my parents live in Lviv, which is supposed to be a safe place. But again, sirens went off. We would go to the basement so many times a day, and I just didn't feel like I was functioning. I could not even now I'm not. Like I still am in this shock and efficiency so low. But then it was just way too bad. So, and then my dad said, you have to go, you have to leave. There's no way you're staying here. So yeah, so from Lviv then to Hungarian border, and then from there to Italy, which is about 1,200 kilometers. No, 2,000 kilometers drive. Yeah.
It all happened so fast, didn't it? Like you weren't even thinking that week, I'm going to have to be escaping soon.
Oh, no. I was all packed for a business trip. And so you would have, but something was nagging inside, and I was feeling something. So I didn't take my usual suitcase, the little one, the carry-on one. I took a bigger one, and just a bit more clothes. So yes, but no, your mind, of course, everybody knew that we had all those Russian troops gathered by the border, but your mind doesn't think this way. Your mind is constantly telling you this is not possible in the 21st century. No, you can't start a war in Kyiv. You can't be bombing the residential areas. So your mind tells you this is not possible. You're safe.
Yeah, like that happens to like underdeveloped countries with poor people, not to us.
Yeah, or to my grandma. Right? The last time it happened to my grandma. And so about war just from historians, and you're like, this happened years and years ago. There's no way they can do this to a beautiful city of Kyiv, was Tesla cars driving the streets, was, second, third wave coffee shops. You can't even think this could happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And when we talked earlier, you mentioned about how you really had to rethink the word refugee, and that what were your biases towards that word?
Yeah, and I'll share mine. I'm happy if your audience does not have those, but from what I've heard, people do have that stereotype. So, to me, a refugee was, if you heard about refugees somewhere in Europe, you immediately thought, and it doesn't matter, Europe, Canada, the US, you immediately thought of people who are, I don't know, like poor, almost criminals. They don't want to work. They just want to on welfare. And and thus you have to look down on that. So a refugee was almost, to me personally, it was always a bad word. Like, it's a bad word, right? You don't want to be a refugee. So, but then when I became a refugee, and my girlfriends who have, 2-3 degrees, speaking different languages, marketing director, HR director, operational director, you're like, okay, so a refugee is someone who, I don't know who that person is. So that has made me rethink who a refugee is. And I am really encouraging other countries and people in other countries to not look down on refugees, because it's not like we're fleeing the country to look for a better life. All of my girlfriends, everybody who is now in Europe, they're just, waking up and praying to go back. Like, you want to go back, but you don't have a choice because it's not safe there. And it's not safe for you, and it's not safe for your kids. So if you ask us, we want to be in Kyiv. We don't want to be a burden to a different country. And knowing my girlfriends, they want to work. They will work. Like, they're looking for jobs constantly from morning till night.
Absolutely. Just like any kind of blanket statement just removes the humanity from people and just makes them identified by their struggle instead of by the fact that we should be treated with dignity and honor.
Yeah, even, because I have so many friends and clients, previous clients in the US, and I'm also a speaker. So I've heard speakers who would start their speeches with something like, I came to the US as an immigrant, and now I am this. So it's almost like, you go from minus to a plus. And it's almost like, I was an immigrant, it was so bad, and now I'm accepted by the citizens of this country. But that is so wrong, okay? A person is still a person. A professional doctor, a professional surgeon is the same professional surgeon in different countries, right?
Yes.
So that does not diminish you as a person or as a professional. So I would even want to, encourage my fellow speakers, do not say that. Because just say, I had to move, I was forced to move to a different country. But this notion of immigrants, of refugees. And if you think about this, Katie, I think that so many times in our lives, we have a refugee feeling, even though we are in our home country. For example, you have to change a city you're living in. You have to change your school you're going to. You still have that refugee feeling, like, I'm not accepted here. So or when somebody is going through, major loss in their lives, or a divorce, you still feel like a refugee because now, you're now facing everything new. So refugee is not a legal thing. It's a state of mindset, and that state is really bad to be in, like, seriously.
And that mindset is transition, and transition is chaos. When you're everything that's special about you, everything that people know about you, your whole identity is just replaced by your struggle. And it's like going from one job to another. They don't know your skills. They don't know who you are. And Yeah, but I wanted to move over because I'm really, really interested to hear your thoughts about networking and the thing that you complained to your husband about 2 months ago.
Yeah, my husband and I were sitting down, and I told him, you know what? I really do not have as many girlfriends as I would want to. I only have like one because of my work. I've been constantly working as a consultant. So I was like, yeah, I'd love to have more girlfriends. So now there is no lack of girlfriends whatsoever. I have 120 by now, yes. And these are only the women I know personally. I don't even, former students from the business school where I used to teach, former clients. So yeah, I'm helping those girlfriends now in Europe, but it's just funny. It's funny. And what was the first question? I'm sorry,
The
I
thought
lost
is
it.
just the networking that
The
led you to
networking.
being in contact with
Yes.
120 people. Like when we talked a few days ago, it was just 100.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So yeah, business people, when we talk about networking or we talk about network and things like expanding your network, I don't even like the word because it has a net and then a work in it. So it's almost like we are, using this net for work in the future. Yeah. So like you're almost thinking, okay, I'm building those business connections so that I can get something in the future, right? Or we talk about win-win, I'm going to provide this and then this person hopefully will provide that to me, right? But from my experience, your network is the only thing that is left after you lose everything. These are the only people you can count on because everything else is lost. And again, I would like for business owners, entrepreneurs to revisit that networking. Like, are you expanding your network just to get something out of those people in the future? Or are you genuinely building connections because you like a person? You say, you know what, I like you. I want to, let's get out for coffee. And you don't have that hidden agenda. Because you never know, those people can save your life sometime, but it could happen like in 10 years.
Yeah. And it's just about not being stingy with our time, that it's worth investing into a total stranger because you never know how that you could give them that little bit of perspective. But how exactly are you helping 120 women? What does this network look like?
Yeah, so it all started with some of my girlfriends asking if I knew anybody in the country, in this country or other country, where they could either get help or accommodation. So the first thing, the big deal was accommodation. And because of my work, I do have this strong international community. So I would, text other friends in different countries and try to connect everybody one by one. But if you have 10 girlfriends, that's doable. Now, when I have 100, it's impossible. Okay, 100, yeah, 20. So I've created this group, and it's a no fancy group. It's just I needed a place for them to be all together. Okay, the group is called Accommodation and Jobs for Ukrainian Women on Facebook, and I help them with three things. First is accommodation. It used to be a temporary accommodation. Now we are facing a big mountain of needs for semi-permanent accommodation. So like for 3 months and not for just several days, which is, hard. So that, then I help them with jobs. So what I do is, again, because of the international community, I ask my other friends, do you have any remote jobs for my girlfriends? Or do you have a job somewhere, in the country, in Hungary and in Germany? So I collect that information, and then instead of just, connecting, matching everybody because it's unbelievable, you just, I post it and then they grab what they need. Okay. So that's the second thing. And third, mental help and emotional help. Because, and again, it's only because of my network. A beautiful friend of mine, she's a top 3 New York therapist, and she has suggested to donate her time to my group. So she's doing group sessions every Thursday, and my girls were just, so extremely grateful. They said, it's so helpful. And then we also have an SOS fund. So if somebody is totally stuck, like Anastasia, I don't have money to buy groceries. Anastasia, I'm stuck in the city. I don't know. I don't have money to get on a train. So we have that. And, I just send them the money.
That is awesome. You have a real gift for organization and having kept track of all those people from over the years.
Yeah, it's not that much of organization. It's just you feel like, if somebody's texting you in the stage, I'm stuck here, can you help? You can't ignore that, right? So immediately you start looking for any help.
That is awesome what you're doing. I wanted to talk about how when you said in the beginning of the year, you started to feel a foreboding feeling. I wanted to hear more about that.
Yeah. I never thought of it as anything big, but throughout years, I would have this weird gift of feeling if something is wrong. And I'm not talking things like predictions and all of that. No, witchcraft, no. But how it started, I do lots and lots and lots of workshops on customer experience, right? And for example, we would have a group of 30 people, 30 executives or, middle managers. And I would just look at one person and I would feel so bad inside, like super bad. So before I just thought it was me and something wrong is with me. After that, I started, there was a point when I started using it. So I would come up to a CEO and I would say, you know what, I'm feeling something is off with this person. Am I feeling it right? Or what's wrong? And then they were just, eyes wide open. Anastasia, I've had so much trouble with this person. I don't know what's going on. And it's just funny how you could figure it like immediately in 15 minutes. So I really don't know what, it's just, I feel bad inside. So since the New Year's, I've been having this feeling all the time. Like it's a very heavy feeling. I was talking to my husband, telling him, you know what, something is wrong. Something is I feel it in my body. I can't even explain what it is. Okay. And, I thought it was connected with this one thing and another, then third. And and now we have this. So I can't say I was feeling anything before the war started or, I was feeling that it will be the war. No, but yes, I had it. And it's funny because you can't do anything with it. You can't control anything and you can't do anything. Like, even if I knew the war was coming, what would I have done? Nothing, right? Because I'm not in the position. But yeah.
And how aware have you been in Ukraine about the propaganda from Russia about?
Oh, very much. Yeah, very much. Because do you remember there was in 2014? There was when Russian troops came to Crimea, which used to be Ukrainian, and it is still Ukrainian island, and they took it over just like that. We all knew that there was so much propaganda, listening to Russian channels. They would just say the people wanted to give in and all that BS, which was not true. So, we always knew that there is lots and lots of propaganda, but the way it influences older people in Russia is just scary. Because, just think how bad it is when your mom calls you, because I have friends who have their relatives in Russia. So when their moms call them and they don't believe their own daughters and sons, but they believe what they see on TV. So just think how bad it is. Yeah.
And what was that deal with? They're saying that Putin will save you.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, so there is a propaganda in Russia which says that Putin is saving Ukrainians from Nazi. Like, President Zelensky being a Nazi. And it's funny because he's Jewish. So there's not even I don't have words for this. That's what they are saying. And they're also semi-Russian speaking. people in Ukraine and Russian-speaking people in Ukraine are like, I don't need to be saved. Everything is fine. So yeah, there's lots and lots of BS. The worst part is you can even be showing the pictures and videos from your own city of Kyiv being bombed, and then people in Russia would say, wait, it's okay, we will save you guys. So and you ask them a direct question: do you support a war? Is any war, is it anything that you would support? Is a war a good thing or a bad thing? They'd say a war is a bad thing, but for Ukraine it's good. So they're so super brainwashed. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just the words fail about just, and for me, I'm not that far away from Ukraine. I'm a 3-hour plane ride here in Sweden. It's so like I'm away from it, much further removed from it from you, and still words fail. So I can't even imagine how much more the words fail for you. It must hurt so much to not be believed.
It does hurt, but we're concentrated on just getting those people out of our country, and everybody's doing whatever they can. And some of my clients, the majority of my clients, the guys are now fighting, and it's sad because you start your morning was asking your friends, are you okay? Meaning, are you alive? Which is like, and then I just got the news from my friends who are fighting that they just killed a girl who used to be their nurse. So yeah, you can't even wrap your mind about this. You can't. And there is no way to process 39 people killed in one place, 40 people killed in a day. There's no way to process it. And then you just have to concentrate on what can I do personally, because if you are stuck in those thoughts, you will just be depressed, and that's it.
Right. So all men that are able to fight are fighting right now, right?
Yeah, mostly fighting. Some of them are helping with food, produce, volunteering. Yeah.
So do you have regular contact with your husband?
So I'm lucky because my husband is not a Ukrainian resident, so he was able to live with me. Okay. So yes, but again, but I'm in touch with all other friends or there.
Wow. Oh yeah, I remember that you said your husband is Russian and that his family is like not believing you.
Exactly. Yeah, he's been living in Ukraine for what, I don't know, like 10 or more years now. So he's totally, Ukrainian. He doesn't even
he doesn't identify as Russian
Ukrainian anymore. No. And he has never been proud of his country ever.
The world is just united right now in wanting to help. How does it feel to see that and experience that?
Yeah. I just did a post in the morning on my LinkedIn, sincerely thanking people who are just, doing incredible things. Because for Ukrainian women, it is very hard for us to accept help. We almost always think that there is somebody else who needs more help than us. So yeah, it's very hard to accept any help. But again, the international community is just being amazing. My friends are telling me stories when they crossed the border with Poland and they were just, wrapped into the arms of Polish people, their kids, themselves. Yeah, with food, with clothes, everything. So, and then my friends from all over, what I appreciate so much? People like you don't even know me, right? Like you don't, but you step in and you say, Anastasia, I want to help as much as I can, spreading the word. And these people truly, truly amaze me. So like, for example, there are two more friends, not friends, but like acquaintances from work, right? They are arranging for speeches, for me to give speeches so that they can fundraise for my girlfriends. They didn't even ask, like, Anastasia, do you need this? Because they know I do, right? But I'm not the one who will be like openly asking, help. So these people are just amazing, And yeah, the sad part though is that some people that you would rely on have shown their real faces, and that's disappointing. Yes, but the ratio is like 99 to 1, or 99% to 2%. So I'm very happy now. I'm happy that the majority are just beautiful people.
Oh my goodness, just imagining people welcoming complete strangers with open arms, like that could just send me in a corner crying, like, oh.
Yeah. People are, and Polish people are so close to us. They've been under the communist influence in their history, so they know how it feels.
And I've heard of Polish hospitality, and I've heard about the banquets of food. So I think Ukrainian women are going to come back a few pounds heavier, more to love.
Yeah. So far, no. I have lost like 10 kilograms.
Yeah, but you're just in Italy.
Just because of stress. Yeah,
Italy's not famous for food or anything.
Well, pasta.
Yeah. So I wanted to hear about your webinar and how that's a way that people can support the work that you're doing.
Yeah. So, it naturally came to me that it started with people asking me, how can we send you the funds? And again, an Ukrainian woman who's used to working hard. So I did not feel comfortable just accepting donations. And I realized that I better share my expertise, everything I know on client experience, client retention, keeping customers from dropping off. So I started doing webinars in English for, whoever needs them. And it's funny because some people don't even come to those webinars, they just pay for them. But again, even if they don't come, I still send them the recording. So I still know that, I provided value. It wasn't just accepting donations. So yeah, that's what I started doing. And I only have 5 planned because I don't know, 1 webinar a week. I don't know where I'm going to be in a month. So far this.
Yeah, well, I will be sure to put all the links of anything you want me to include down below in the description. And yeah, now I want to move to the point where when you look at the camera and you talk to different people, like you can even get closer if you really want them to see your eyeballs. Like, what do you want to say to the Ukrainian women scattered around Poland and Hungary and the Czech Republic and Romania and wherever else that they are?
Because I talk to them every day, so it's not something extra that I'm going to say, but there are several things that I'm telling them. Number 1, that you're still the same person with the same talents and skills. Doesn't matter if you speak the language in that country or you don't, you still have the same skills. And I want you to be bold about who you are. Do not diminish. I mean, if you have 3 degrees, you still have those 3 degrees. And you might think, well, but those degrees I had those degrees in Ukraine. Who cares? You still have those degrees, right? You still had a great position in the company that you used to work for, right? So you still have those skills. So these things. And then the third thing, I know everybody's telling Ukrainian women now, you have to be strong, and we're like sick of hearing that. So my advice would be, if you want to feel weak, let yourself feel weak. Okay, like this past Sunday, I was in my bed for the whole day. I didn't even get out. I was like weeping in my bed. Okay, and that's okay. That's okay. I think it's okay because today I have more power. So let yourself be weak. That's okay. And let yourself accept help from people who want to help. Just, thank them, hug them, and do not think like you have to repay immediately or bake a pie. No, No, you will, in 5 years, 10 years, you can send us 2 years even. You can send a box of chocolates to those people, but not now. No, you need to survive. Oh, and last thing, which I've been telling them so many times, but again, I'm ready to repeat it. Please do not allow yourself to feel guilty that you have left Ukraine. And I know there are some people who are openly telling you this. Now, I'm a customer experience consultant who always tells companies and people never ever block haters. I'm going to dump all that and I'll tell you block haters. Okay? No, this is not the situation. No, you're not a company. You're an individual. You have your individual page on Facebook. Please, it doesn't matter who those people are, by the way, relatives, friends, clients. I just blocked 2 clients because they were telling me bad things about you guys escaping the country. I don't give a sh, seriously. So because number one thing, you have to be controlling what you can't control, and this you can't control. So yeah,
that is so good. Like, even though it's the messages for them, it's so good for us to just get a peek into what that mindset that they're going through is, that we can have more compassion for you. And what do you want to say to the people who are scared, watching the news, not knowing what to believe?
Yeah. Well, it's not knowing what to believe is okay, because you get all kinds of information. I think that we all understand that we are only getting this much. We don't get the whole picture. Okay. So for Ukrainians, we have decided that we are going to trust our government, and whatever they're doing now is already a lot. So no doubt about that. Now, for people who are somewhere, and I know some people, even from China, some people would text me and say they're crying all the time. Be a warrior whenever you are. If you feel like you can pay for Airbnb, that's been a huge hype right now. People are paying for Ukrainians for their Airbnb places and not going there. Do that. If you're somebody who can pray from morning till night, pray. But just get yourself into the mode of doing something. Okay. If you have friends, help them directly in Ukraine, right? But do something. And if you do something, you would feel like there's at least something that you can control, and it's your own actions. You can't control what's going on. There's no way. Yeah. If you were a senator, you have a different, scale of impact. You can use it differently. So, but doing things really, really, really helps.
Yeah. It's like being you have to let yourself cry sometimes, but you have to have a cutoff point at some point. Like, nope, I gave myself some time to cry. Now it's time to do something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This is me doing something, putting messages of solidarity out on the internet. And I hope something that some people can do is share this video with somebody else, just putting more truth out there.
Exactly.
We talked a little bit about how I was explaining a little bit of my concept of reclaiming trauma, about how we take these things that happen to us and we make up our own mind about them and we use it to change the world. And I wanted to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah. I don't think we need to have this podcast like in 10 years or 2 years or 1 year from now.
Totally.
So that I could say, because that happened, because I went through that trauma, now I am, able to. So far right now, if I'm frank with you, I am not in the position to reclaim that. I am just, only realizing that there is a trauma and I'm trying to go through it, and I have no idea what to do with it. So unfortunately that is true.
It was weeks ago. And you are mobilizing help. You are making such a difference, and in your resilience and in your in even just acknowledging, I cried all day. Yeah, that's brave. And I'm so honored to be able to talk to you and to share that bravery with the rest of the world and whoever ends up watching this. Do you have any last thoughts that you would like to share?
I can go for days.
Oh, I'm
So
sure. Yeah.
I think we can just stop where we are. Because I know that's already plenty for people to process.
Mm,
It's already plenty, and yeah, you're just living your life. And I know that so many people are now thinking, okay, what if I wake up tomorrow and I lose everything, right? So, but I would encourage you not to think about that, because it's our road, it's our way. Yes, we have lost everything, but yes, it has shown us that so many things are completely unimportant in life, like completely unimportant. Your life is actually just a folder with documents. If you thought you had something else, then no, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's a folder with documents. Yeah, I do have a document on my 2 apartments, which are in Kyiv, but but it just so far it's just a document, a piece of paper. So yeah, but again, people have to enjoy nice things. It's fine. I'm not trying to tell stop buying things just because, but I would encourage people to think and see if you have savings. That I would really encourage, because so many of my girlfriends ended up with nothing because they don't have savings. And yeah,
well, yeah,
so just take care of yourself. Mm-hmm.
that reminded me of another thing that you had said earlier, was that a way to support women, they're on their own with their kids, or single, and they're just surviving. So you were talking, like, if you see them at the gas station, pay for them, buy
Yeah.
their gas. What other things can people do to secretly help them or subtly help them?
Yeah, there's so many cars with Ukrainian plates now
Mm.
in Europe, so many. And, Ukrainian plate, you probably, the whole world knows now that it's a yellow and blue. So if you see that, yeah, just, I was telling you to do it secretly. Yes. Like, don't come up and say, what kind of help do you need? And especially, if there's a guy coming to a woman, we'd be scared. Right. So, yeah, but if you can pay for groceries, if you can give something to a kid, buy something to a kid, if you can, yeah, probably they won't listen to you if you provide accommodation right there, because it's not safe. Yeah, but just little acts of kindness when you see that person with that car, that'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Just thinking that everybody that you see basically has one suitcase to their name.
Exactly, that's true.
The way that I end my conversations is I give hugs. I'm giving you an especially big one. Hugs.
Yay. Thank you.
And hugs too. We can also give hugs to anybody else watching this that needs it, because I feel like we're all a little bit hug starved.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true as well.
so
Yeah.
hugs to people watching this. We will get through this stinking world. And yes, thank you. If you're here because you are somebody that wants to make the world a better place. And that's what this channel is all about: vulnerability, community, and compassion. I hope you'll stick around. Thank you.